Hi folks, so this is just a bit of a roundup because I basically went out and went a bit too far with this engine. So what we now have is when you log in, it goes straight to a creator account or your standard username. So if I go to create an account now and make a name and a password for it and build said account, I can now log in as that new person and everyone gets 10 credits free. I also, on top of that, have created just a little widget to buy credits. At the moment, you literally just press the buttons and you gain said amount of credits, which you can then use to purchase something. You can buy, it goes through. Of course, then if you go onto someone else's account, none of that data gets brought across at all. It's only determined on your own and newly created accounts. So what I'm going to do is go through the code of what I've created there and let's see what I've done. Sometimes it's just nice to add a bit more functionality to what you're building. If you want to become a programmer in the future, playing around with stuff and just working on stuff and building stuff is definitely the way forward. So make sure you do that. So, right, what we've got is, that's the log on screen. Let's have a look at the credits first. Right, so with the credit buttons, I simply created two buttons, added some text, gave it some numbers. So these buttons then actually go to a custom function, which I've just copied twice and put an input into it. This time I put 20 in this one for 50. So if we have a look at the actual credits, what we have here is it's a function that I've created by just adding function up here. You then go to shopping game mode, go to accounts, get the credits, and then we're using that current user index, which has been an absolute godsend throughout this entire process. Having some sort of account number effectively for everyone is an amazing idea if you're looking to build any databases. I can see why people use them now. Right, and then we're using credits. We're getting the current amount of credits from this user ID. You're then adding how many credits you want for your credit amount. So creating this, it was just a custom input. You click here for the new parameter, and then I called it credit amount. And on the other menu on the event graph, you just then put the number that you want. Then finally, this is a set array element, and within this it's then targeted to the credits. It's adding the current credits to the previous credits, and the index is just your account number or your current user index. So that's the basis of creating a credit system. Of course, if there's a way that you can get people to enter credit card details to purchase stuff, fantastic, go for that in the future. But for now, we're just focusing on simple functionality. Anyway, so the log on screen, what I created on this was I moved the log on screen text over a bit, created a button which says create new accounts on it. This is quite a simple one. All this does is you click the button, removes all the widgets, goes to the create new account and add it to the viewport. I've been asked previously how you're creating these little comments around things. If you highlight multiple objects, right click and then go to create comments section. That's how you can do that. If you want just a single comment on one object, you can just add a comment node in here and add whatever text you want, and it just comes up like that. Pretty much identical to this larger comment, just for an individual object. Right, so the create new account button, this was quite interesting. Here we have quite literally two canvas panels, one for the top, one for the bottom. All conventions, basically. I just wanted that to be a header. And then within the second canvas panel, all we have is quite literally a title for the account name. So that's you giving your account name, your password. You then have a oddly enough, a text box input for your password, same as your account name, and then finally a button which says build account. Now, what you'll notice is the commit on username has nothing in it apart from the actual text data. We're not actually making it commit to anything by typing in. All we are literally doing is just checking the end value of what's within there. And same for the password. You might want to go over the top with this and do verification, check the password against what's previously mentioned in the other one. Perfectly fine. Right, then folks, what we actually have going on here is that button which says build the account, which then goes, of course, the standard Casters shopping game mode with the game mode button, dragging out of that to accounts, then a break structure. And what we're going to do is the following. The usernames actually has an add unique, because of course you don't want people with the same username appearing. We should do some verification later on which says if username equals the same as someone else's username, text box appears, tells them to choose something different, but that's fine. Passwords can be exactly the same, so we are literally just adding it. Oh, by the way, you might notice that it's just adding in from that text field, so whatever's typed in here gets added straight into this value, and whatever's typed into the password gets added in straight to the new password value. Because it's adding in, it's then adding another array element into these. So currently, if we have a look at the account structure, we have 0 for Bob, 1 for Dave, 2 for Simon, 3 would then be whoever we then added into our new account. Then finally, what we then went on to do was added some credits. This time I decided to give everyone 10 credits to start off with, and purchase games, adding in nothing. We just want this to be a blank field at the moment, no information in there. Then finally, a remove of all widgets, go back to the logon screen, and then go to the viewport. So what should then happen is when someone goes to create an account, they'll add their name, they'll add their password, they then type in their username and password. If it doesn't exist, it's prompting saying it doesn't work. If it does exist, oh, there you go. It will then log them on, and you can start adding credits to your account, buying stuff as you feel free, and then you can of course always log back on later. And there you have it, folks. Now we have a lot more functionality to this. Maybe you want to go over the top, do some password verification just to check it when you're creating that new account. Maybe you want to send an email off to people as well. All completely fine, all up to you. Happy designing and developing this lovely database-driven system in Unreal. Thanks for watching.